How will you come to a church, for example, and then to invite you to perform or to actually glorify God? You're charging us about $10,000 first class for the artist.
Breakfast, lunch, and
dinner. Specifically Nigerian cuisine.
Yeah.
Executive suits for the artist.
50% before.
50% before
adding the dates to the calendar.
2 days to the event, you pay the balance of $5,000. These gospel people are charging too much. Yo guys, welcome to yet another exciting time on Gusto TV's What's Happening. And today there's just a lot of conversations, a lot of things to talk about. And of course, it has to be with whether somebody is a gospel artist or the other person is not a gospel artist. Bass goes between the church and the club and the music ministers and a lot of things to unpack today. But guys, thank you so very much for all that you do for us here at Gusto TV Africa. We love and appreciate you. Thank you for the likes, subscriptions, the comments, and the shares. We appreciate all of it, and we say please continue to do that and tell all your friends and families, neighbors, everyone that you don't like about what we do here on Gusto TV Africa. And I'm not alone today. I have my usual suspect and my partner in several crimes. Sugar, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm fine. How you guys doing?
I think they're great.
How are you too?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I'm perfect.
Okay.
I'm perfect. So let's just even delve into it straight up because my body the hot. My body the hot.
My body the hot.
The thing, so I won't talk.
Okay, let's have it.
So, who is a gospel minister and who is a gospel artist? Break it down for us. Take us to church.
Okay, let me take his church. Praise the Lord, somebody.
Oh no, please. Oh no, please.
Okay, so quick one here. Let me say, okay, this is my opinion, personal opinion. Funny how we were even still jamming to some songs before we commented.
Yeah.
And I was telling Wade that, this particular song that you played, this person is a gospel artist, and this particular song that you played, this person is a gospel minister. So
for context, Bidemi versus
why you mentioning
Chandler
names?
Moore.
You guys, I didn't even. Oh my Jesus
for
Christ!
Context,
you are
yes.
putting me on the spot, yeah.
Context. Let's get into it. So decide for yourself who you think is a gospel minister.
People, I didn't know the people that.
Let me say, don't.
Why you like this?
Ear.
Why you like this?
Guys, we played before we got on set.
You don't say we. Are you?
We collectively.
Are you? You played. We
Sugar.
Vibed.
Sugar.
Don't do that to me, man.
Please.
You can't do that.
Can I speak?
Speak. Maui, Tori,
before we got on set, we were vibing and jamming.
Thank you very much.
To Chandler Moore and Bidemi Olaoba.
Okay.
And she's saying one of them is a gospel minister and the other one is a gospel minister.
According to the songs I played, guys.
Choose for yourself who you sing.
Wait.
Go ahead,
okay, you did do your own now.
Go ahead.
So, guys, to my opinion, I would say that a gospel artist is someone that sings, gospel songs, so that the listeners, we that listening, can enjoy, we can vibe, we can be energetic, and this person sings blah 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 and stuff while still praising God. While a gospel minister is someone that would sing to satisfy the heavens first before you that is listening. And I'll give context to this. We know there was a time, very recently, during this whole brouhaha of Pastor Lazarus and Timmy Dakolo and stuff, and he made a video and said that how many of you can go back to have a replay of the worship sessions and the praise sessions in church? How many of you can go and listen to it again, and then it has you in the spirit? Do you understand? That brings us to the conversation, to the question again. Sorry, that a gospel artist will sing to satisfy we that are listening, will vibe, will dance, be body when we have those ad libs and stuff. Jesus is Lord. While the gospel minister would sing to satisfy the heavens first, glorify God. They are both glorifying God, but one person is doing it for, I would say, worldly acceptance, let people enjoy this song, while the other person is doing it to actually satisfy the heavens first before the earthly ones. Praise the Lord, somebody.
Guys, if you think and actually agree with Sugar, please let us know in the comment section, because I'm actually confused as hell. While I understand it and I get it, I'm also super confused.
Okay.
The reason I'm confused is because I know that a lot of our global superstars, our artists, they said it themselves. They started from church. There are numerous people that we can mention names. Cole, for producers, Fields,
Yeah, Spyro too.
Spyro's a Jesus boy.
Ruga
He's still
also
actively
said
doing
he's
it.
there from
Ruga as
church.
well. Willis. I remember Willis. I saw a picture of him as a keyboardist in church.
In church,
And a
yeah.
lot of us, even Paul Way himself also started from the
From
church.
yeah.
Now, so all these things, we know
Yeah.
that the church has been able to birth global superstars and amazing talented artists who are still
Yeah.
actually thriving and doing so well.
Beautiful.
Now, we cannot separate the church from Afrobeats, but the conversation has been, are these guys actually trying to posture or outdo Afrobeat artists? I mean, I'm talking of gospel artists, because all of these things started from when Pastor Lazarus came and said, these gospel people are charging too much.
Too much, yeah.
And when you come to a church, for example, and then to invite you to perform or to actually glorify God, you're charging us about 10,000 US dollars. First class for the artist.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Specifically Nigerian cuisine.
Yeah.
Executive suits for the artist.
50% before.
50% before
adding the dates to the calendar.
Before they even make a move, 50% up front. That's like $50,000. Then 2 days.
No, that's $5,000.
Yeah, 5,000. Now here you spark. At the vex. Now, 2 days to the event, you pay the balance of $5,000.
I don't even know why.
Security details, to and fro from the airport, and all of that. 40 minutes. The other people can stay in business class or
no, it's economy
class.
That person
but you see that
first
one,
class.
that minister, that gospel artist must be in first class or business class at least. Now, we know that our global superstars, the Burna Boy, the Wizkids, the Davidos, the Remas, they charge quite
way more than
a certain amount, like an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah.
Now, are these guys now saying, we are actually jamming now? Interpolations, the gospel songs are starting to resemble Afrobeat songs. If you go to churches sometimes, you will not even know the difference between a church and a club because the syncopation, all the jamming, the instrumentalists,
the ad libs,
most of them they play for shrine. They go play for church on Sunday, so they know all these things. They listen to a lot of Afrobeat songs and they jam it. And some people will argue that they are doing all that so that they can actually pull people from the world into the church.
But now it seems like those that are pulling from the world are now changing the church.
The setting don't change. And this is exactly the conversation. Now, I will ask you again, and I'll ask you empirically. Would you say that our gospel artists are starting to want to measure up with our Afrobeat artists in terms of how they move, in terms of the sound, in terms of how they charge?
Whew, that's quite deep and very, very sensitive, so I would want to choose my words carefully. Now, to start with here, let's talk about the prices. That's the money, the cost of having to invite a gospel artist and stuff. Like I said earlier, we have gospel artists and we have gospel ministers. So if we would say for the gospel artists, maybe, just maybe, it is justifiable, because I'll refer again to Pastor Femi Lazarus. When he actually did that during that message, when he projected it and stuff, then he mentioned something and said, if they have to pay that much for you to come, you already
they'll dance, dramatize.
He said you have to, exactly, that you're a performer. So maybe, just maybe, they should not now hide under the camouflage of we're doing it for God. Like I said, this is very sensitive, and I'm talking based on my opinion and the level of my understanding. Right. But if you would say that we're doing this thing for God, God is the same God that gave us that talent. God is not saying we are be wretched because I gave you talent and I gotta do it for free. No. But I think that it should still be, be justifiable. $10,000. Same song that the choirs in the church, the choristers in the church can sing, just because you come and add some, like Pastor Femi Lazarus say, you will perform. so maybe, just maybe, but that money, you didn't even put the person's name. But for the money, I would say it's quite a lot for a body that would say they are doing it for God.
Is there not a semblance to trying to copy everything that's been done in terms of the Afrobeat structure, right? Style?
If you talk about the money, maybe they might be thinking at this point that if you can be paying worldly artists this particular amount, maybe you should be able to afford us as well,
because scripture says we are in the world but not of the world.
But not of the world.
Anyways, Well, I mean, I think that this whole structure around pricing has to actually be discussed.
Yeah, it has to
Even
be.
across boards, Afrobeats, or whether you're going to get a gospel
and
artist.
yeah, sorry to cut you. Yeah, I'm not so old, but growing up, I miss the time where every sector used to have a body, like that body will regulate everything. So growing up, my mom did a lot of jobs. That time she used to rent out CDs to all this movie now CD. Then there was a body. You can't rent out a disc for more than 100 naira. They will report you. This is this is like the stipulated price. So I think that maybe if we bring back that particular thing, so the other body will now look into it. Okay, you call yourself a gospel artist, oh yes, we know we are doing it for God, but this is the amount that you should be charging. Maybe at that point or that time.
Well, I think that could be a solution out of the many solutions that probably can actually pop up. Yeah. But I remember also, like, Burna Boy was at an event recently and he went with his whole crew and went with his own musical equipment. Now, I would want to think that would have been quite intense, and the amount that he would charge for all that would be quite astronomical. Now, again, I want to say that there's a semblance between gospel artists and our Afrobeat artists. For example, you will see them in church and the music is looking like Afrobeats. You have Afrobeats syncopation,
especially the keyboardists,
the instrumentalists are going haywire because they listen to a lot of Afrobeats, so they know what people hear.
You know what?
Sometimes when a sound comes up, you see the whole church.
Yeah.
Like there's an Ashake embellishment to it. There's a Burna Boy embellishment to it, and all of that stuff. Even now, they even play this type of songs. Joy is coming in church. And that is Fido. That is somebody,
yes, now.
Sorry, just hold for a minute. And that is somebody that sang.
Pass me the ganja, give me brown reason. Hey, pass me the ganja,
this is the same person that sang Joy is coming, and they were singing it in church. So there's a semblance. And recently, a certain gospel artist has been called out because now it's not only the style of music, also the dance. And he was singing. I'm not going to mention his name. He was singing and he was doing this. If you know street,
Farouk.
You know what this
Farouk.
is. This is, and he was doing it. So there's a lot of all of that in gospel music.
Yeah. No, this one is like God forbid. God forbid.
Like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So it begs the question: are these guys actively just artists or gospel artists? I feel like you guys should just actually pick a side.
Yeah.
Now, let's just hold that thought for a minute and read some comments and take some suggestions. So firstly, I'll read what Pastor Lazarus has said. I just paraphrase. He said, many worship meetings in Nigeria have become performances. Someone has charged us 5 million to come here and sing. He will come, act drama and cry, but he's only doing his business. You'd be amazed at how ruthless they are when they charge. Now hold that thought for a minute. And when Timi Dakolo was saying all that he said, because Timi Dakolo was also trying to make a case for these people and say they have to pay their backup singers, they have to pay their instrumentalists. That's all they do. That's the work they do. And rightly so, because where man they work, now you go chop. And all of that. And these people have families and they have things to cater for and to cater to. And Timi Dakolo said in his post, and I quote, all this was said in love and with respect, sir. I'm not a gospel artist, but a Christian raised in church. Let's not shift the goalpost. By your definition, if anyone charges to minister, they are not gospel artists. They are performers. And by that definition, if any preacher charges to teach and minister, they are merchants of hope and motivational speakers and performers too. Sir, you are charging as low as $150 per person for your school of ministry, teaching and preaching Jesus, probably having as much as 1,000 students. Let's do the maths. You even have a premium and standard package in God's house. Are you not selling the gift of the revelation freely given to you by God? Again, let's not keep shifting the goalposts. And this came from all of the conversations between Pastor Lazarus and Timi Dakolo trying to make a case. And Timi Dakolo said, I'm going to burst you. I went to your site and I see that you are charging people for training and all of that stuff. So I don't want us to get into the specifics of that. Do you think that this is not even fair? on the gospel artists who are actually charging, because these ministers, we know what happens in church a lot of the time. There's a lot of, I don't want to talk about, I try as much as possible to run away from religious conversations, because it's a lot. But if you are saying you're doing that and you are charging people for school of ministry, school of that, why can't gospel artists charge?
So for me, I would say that I really I do not think that the issue here is that they are charging.
They're charging too much.
Yes, I think it's the outrageous, amount. I don't think the issue here should be charging. I think it should be, the fact that, this is a lot and stuff.
Okay, so because you think that they are charging too much, let's take a look at something that happened. Now, I'm going to read out gospel artists with the most listeners on Spotify, for example.
Okay.
Victor Thompson has 2.2 million listeners. Nathaniel Bassi has 1.3 million listeners. Moses Bliss, 1.2. Lawrence Oyo, 1.1. Limo Blaze, 1 million. Ebuka Songs, 813. Messi Chinwo, 803. Festizi, I don't know who that is. I've not been in church in like years. 686. Dunsin Oyekon, I know him. I love him. 667k. And then Cheesy, I don't know who this is. God bless you. 682k. Now, with all of these numbers, I'll take you again. Turntable charts reported top songs on YouTube NG week of February the 7th, February 15th, 2025. Rema, Baby Is It a Crime, 758k. Mr. Fido, Joy Is Coming. 621k. Official Naira Mali, PXY Drip, I'm not going to say that on camera, 389k. Odomodu Black Victoni, You Must Pity This Boy, 386k. Who do you have on number 5? Lawrence Oyo, Favor. He surrounds me like
a shield. What's that?
On the charts with 338k. Astronomical numbers. This guy actually went number 2 one time.
Yeah, on Apple
Music. So it just shows that a lot of people are actually paying attention.
They are paying attention.
We're listening to more like gospel songs. I'm not gonna say that resembles a lot of Afrobeat. There's no semblance with Afrobeat.
No, there isn't.
But it's just a lovable song. A lot of people are listening. So we have this cross carpeting happening, and there's this interpolation. You cannot actually take it away. Now, if somewhere like Lawrence Oyo says, man, I'm topping chart too, see what I'm doing, see my numbers, astronomical, don't you think is worthy of $10,000? What you saying, fam?
Okay, if we're bringing it to the world, he is worldly worthy of $10,000.
Why are you separating this thing?
But if we're going to remain on the fact that we're doing this thing for God, we're not saying, nobody is saying you should not charge. God has given you the talents. Like I said earlier, He's not expecting you to be wretched and still be serving Him. No. That talent He has given to you, there's a reason He has given you that, and you definitely make money from it.
Yeah.
But don't now overdo it. Like I said, all these things, according to the level of my understanding, knowledge, and opinion, don't overdo. Nobody is saying don't charge. Yes.
Is charging $3 million to perform. baby, so mommy. Favor. He surrounds me like, why can't he charge $3 million? What you mean?
Okay, why are we comparing Afrobeat artists to, okay, we said artists. No, like I said before, artists and ministers are two different. So we're talking about
the reason is very obvious. A lot of them are cross carpeting and trying to do so much Afrobeat in church and probably just tweaking the lyrics, whatever, to just get people in church. And they know that church is a very viable option for them. There's a lot of money in church, and they're gonna obviously pay. A lot of ministers will pay a gospel artist to come. So in fact, this thing is just coming to light because it don't bust. So it goes to show how much money goes into all. Because can you tell me that you're gonna fly somebody first class?
Yeah, when I saw that, and I was now thinking about it, like there's money in church.
Of course,
are you thinking what I'm
in your street? How many churches there in your street?
They think what they think.
So that's
$10,000. That's money. Then they'll be in charge of the flight tickets.
Yeah, food.
To and fro.
Food
or feeding. There's money.
Food, specifically Nigerian cuisine. So if you do Chinese, whatever, you will swallow that food yourself. There has to be a bar, jollof rice.
I think we have to call ourselves
and all that stuff.
Let's call ourselves. In case God no call us.
God, I'm waiting. Anyways. Let's take one very funny reaction, right,
Okay.
before we wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
And Chinyewa says, the bar close to my house is playing Favor by Lawrence Oyor. Imagine going to the club and they go, Favor.
You know, people actually vibe. People will
Bang,
vibe.
bang,
One thing
bang.
I've noticed again is the fact that I think it's not even.
And then
think.
Dope Caesar puts a spin on it. Woo!
See, do you know that it is very obvious that we are in a generation where God is raising people to pay attention to Him?
Preach.
Like, G gets.
Preach.
I've noticed it.
Preach.
But the problem now is that we want the old religious and Christianity thing and attending to God thing to be so easy that you don't feel bad when you don't do it the right way.
It's not a spiritual podcast. Anyways, guys, if you think that these gospel artists are charging way too much, let us know in the comment section or what you think. I mean, weigh in. Do you think Pastor Lazarus is right to say, these guys, you're doing way too much. If you want to perform, just come and tell us that you're a performer. Don't tell us that you're a gospel minister, because we ain't paying that shit. It's way too much. We're not going to do that. We serve a God, and God knows and honors our gifts, and there's a certain way that we run here. But let us know, weigh in. We'd like to see what you think about that, because there's one funny comment I want to read before we wrap this up, and this one is from Shola. He says, Pastor Femi Lazarus charges for most of his services. He doesn't even wait for honorarium, but has a problem with gospel artists charging for their services. The pastors are making money but have a problem with the artists, and choristers making money. That is hypocrisy. It just echoes what we're saying about that. Anyway, guys, you guys are the judge, jury, and executioners. Let us know what your thoughts are. I put them in the comment section. Do you think that gospel artists are trying to resemble Afrobeat artists with the way they charge, the way they perform, even their songs, the way they actually really write those songs and perform them? Guys, let us know in the comment section and tell us what you think. Sugar, there was a disturbing tweet that actually popped into the scene most recently, and that came from the one and only Reekado Banks. And I'm going to read it straight up so we can actually have context for what we're going to talk about. So Reekado tweeted on X and said, one day I'll take an interview to talk about someone in the corners of the entertainment industry who's either absolutely clueless or plain demonic. Somehow the brightest budding talents fall in their lap, and either through cluelessness or pure demonic activities, they agree to policies that effectively slow these talents down, and for some other talents, frustrate them out of pursuing their dreams. One day ... So you continue.
Continue.
What do you make?
Continued.
To be continued. What do you make of this?
First I'll say we're in 2025. Please, if you're coming to drag anybody, if you're coming to say something, if you can already come out to say this much, just mention the person's name. If you know that you are very sure of what you want to come and say, you cannot be giving us guess game. Yesterday I saw the tweet. You needed to see the comment section. There's nothing people did not try to do to get him to talk. So what if you said, what if you not lift it to it was that bad? God forbid. Because some people say, what if Elon Musk collect your account
before we get the gist?
Before we get the gist, just say this thing. And you know, it's just, people would say anything just to get you to talk. But if you can already come out to say this, you know, what I was able to make of this is, two things. There is either definitely something to talk about, but maybe it needs that attention first.
Who comes to mind when you saw this tweet? Who came to your mind? Who did you think that Reekado Banks was talking about? Even
though he later came back to say it's not that person, I thought it was Don Jazzy because of that line. The brightest budding talent lands on their lap. I mean, if you're going to talk about someone that has done well with, building talent, it has to be Don Jazzy. But when he now came back hours later to say it's not Don Babaje, but anything Olori he said Olori Buruku. Now I'm thinking, ooh. But Reekado had, a beef with Wizkid one time. I think they still have. Do they still have that beef?
Yep.
So maybe, but how many talents don't?
Maybe he was just trying to be like a figurative expression. To say talents. Because if we
maybe the talent don't later get to, see the light of the day.
See the light of the day, right? Probably might just be under the franchise and probably did not actually
achieve what they were supposed to do.
Actually achieve what they're supposed to achieve so it probably might be Wizkid, it probably might be Olamide, it probably might still even be done by Jay.
It can't be Olamide, because if you check Reekado's page, just last year or even this year, there's a post with him and Olamide probably recording a song or something.
Let's X Olamide out.
So see,
not
people
like
should come and be saying things your full
So
chest.
who do you think?
Ah.
Like from the top of your head, who do you think that
I
Ricardo is
just
talking
guess.
about? Just guess.
Heidi Kabasa. You see, I should just guess
Can
now.
never be ID.
Yeah, I should just guess.
I don't think Ricardo
But
Banks
who?
want to actually get into a fist fight with ID
Who?
Kabasa.
So who now?
The legend of the game. You playing fam?
Banky W.
Banky F near Banky W.
So what are we talking about? You asked me to keep guessing. I'm trying to guess. Who? Let's.
Anyways, I think for me it was quite a disturbing tweet.
Yeah,
I hope
it
that
is
whatever
so.
it is, and if it's a PR stunt, brother, man, we ain't gonna buy that shit because we saw the numbers of your songs being affected positively. Sometimes when there's always just about somebody, it seems to be the order of the day. It seems to have
Their songs
worked.
just start chatting.
Yeah, it seems to have worked and it continues to work. When one gist just pop up about personalities, just go and check the numbers.
Yes, now why they talk
Yeah.
say no bad publicity,
No bad PR.
no bad PR.
But guys, if you've seen that tweet by Ricardo Banks and how disturbing it was, and of course it came out to clear the air, allegedly
That is not done Baba J.
That is not done Baba J.
What do you guys think it is?
So
Because
we
at this
don't
point,
really
just
know.
a guess.
So guys, please let us know what you think in the comment
Yeah.
section. Do you think that Ricardo Banks was referring to Don Baba J
I mean, portable.
or Wizkid or even Portable? Because Portable has tons and tons of talent,
God.
and it seems like all they do all day is to smoke Igbos and just vibe.
Igwas.
And
you
just
know,
vibe.
there's a nation Odumodu now.
Yeah. I mean, Portable. Shout out to Portable.
Shout out to you.
Let me just say this, for context. Shout out to Portable for actually getting talents off the streets.
Yeah.
I really applaud him for doing all that.
Yeah.
But what I have a problem is what you do with them. Because it seems like they get interested, they get excited at first, and probably in the next 2 weeks we're seeing them serve Cold Hero in Portable's bar. You don't even do barman, I be bar boys. Because I really don't see nothing happening with those boys.
Let me tell you something. Back in the days, I'm not so old, but I speak like an adult. Back in the days, if you want to go and learn work, I say, there are things you do. There's some tailors, you see them, that Omoshe are going to be washing clothes in their house. So maybe part of the
Anyways,
maybe part of it is Superman or something.
shout out to the most amazing CEO, record level executive, Portable of
Obodoguba.
Me of ODG Bar and Zen Nation.
Nation.
Anyways, guys, we just want to say thank you to you
Thank
guys
you
for sticking
very
with us. And I
much.
hope that you enjoyed this session. Please let us know what you think in the comment section. If you think that gospel artists are actually trying to match with Afrobeat artists, and tell us what you think about all the charges, if you think it's justifiable
Too much
or
awesome.
not. And if you've seen the tweet by Ricardo Banks, who do you think Ricardo is throwing this
we
subtle
need to
shade
know.
at? Let us know.
Let us know.
If you have inside scoop, let us know
And
as
if you
well.
even get first-hand information.
Let us know.
And I think I also want to say that maybe they should even let us know in the chat box what they think they want us to talk about again. Put your opinion in
that's
there.
true. That's
If
true.
you think anything you want us to talk about, as long as you're not putting us on the spot, we'll come and talk about it. Don't worry, we'll be your mouthpiece.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
see you
I will see you
guys
on the next
on the next
one. Bye.